going to do from a mobility standpoint is called a split stance 3-way reach. So this is going to be really simple. I'm going to get into a nice long split squat kind of position. I've got some stretch back here, got some stretch back here. I'm going to maintain a stable lower body. So we've already worked on mobility for the hips. Now I want to be stable and strong here. We want our upper body and our thoracic spine to gain some mobility. So I'm in this position, and now I'm going 3 reaches up and back as far as I can. I'm going to go 3 rotations as far as I can to my right, and I'm going to go 3 to my left. And we'll often cue our guys, reach back like you're catching a puck behind you, or you're a wide receiver, you're catching a football. The first exercise we're going to do, we call a lateral knee hug and lunge. So all I'm going to do, going this way, usually we have about 10 yards, 10 meters of turf to do this, and we get 5 or 6 reps each way. But all I'm going to do is knee hug, toe's going to come up, and I'm going to get tall on this foot, and I'm going to step out into a deep lateral lunge stretch back to the middle, okay? Toe up, knee up on the ball of my foot, out, and stretch. Toe up, knee up, get tall, and back out, and I'm going to come back, the same thing, okay? Up tall, long body, okay? Extending through this hip. I want to get tall, straight spine, put my head up into the lights, and back out, okay? The next one we're going to do is called an SLDL, or a single leg deadlift. Okay, we're sort of stretching and activating posterior chain, glutes, hamstrings, upper back. Very simple. I'm going to try to touch my hands to the wall, touch one of my feet to the wall behind me while I'm stable on one leg. So I'm out, long, look like an uppercase T, come up nice and tall. And notice my spine is nice and straight the whole time. I'm not folding over. I'm not sloppily kind of reaching down for my toes, but I'm in a long and strong position, extended, up tall, a little pop to it on the way back up. Reach, up tall. Very deliberate, focused, fundamental movement patterns that we hone day in and day out to help improve movement skill, movement literacy, and prepare ourselves to get on the ice, stay healthy, and perform well, okay? After SLDL, we're basically going to do a straight leg march. So again, this is an exercise a lot of people will do, but I see it butchered a lot of times. And a lot of times it's kind of sloppy, and it's kind of reach for the sky with the foot, back flexes over, no real attention to detail, no real deliberateness to it. We want to be a little bit sharper, a little bit crisper. We want to move from the hips. We want to stay stable through our lumbar spine like we talked about in the mobility section. Okay, so we're going to come up nice and smooth, just about belly button level, and then snap back down, okay? Smooth up, snap down, take a step. Smooth, snap. Smooth, snap. Staying up tall, smooth, snap. Now we start to speed up the pace a little bit, okay? We want to become a little bit more fluid, a little bit more natural. The next one is a straight leg skip, so now we allow a little bit more motion, a little rotation, the spine can move a little more. So now we just add a skip to that. We still want to snap back down, have some pop, have some power, okay? Come back, the same thing. Little rhythm to it, little bounce, little pop, all right? Now we transition into more lateral stuff, because obviously we're going to get on the ice. We're going to have to move laterally, be explosive. So we go into lateral skip. In lateral skip, what we want to think about is 2 things. One, if I'm going this way, I need to push off this back leg, right? I'm pushing, I'm driving that direction. Second thing is I don't want my feet to cross over. Okay, obviously when we're in the net, there's not a lot of time where we want our feet crossing over. That's not going to be a good idea. So can we do this sloppily, cross over, jump around, and get a sweat and get warm? Yes. Is that helping us improve fundamental patterns and the skill of moving? No. So we want to be really sharp with lateral skip. Pop, drive, pop, drive, pop, drive, pop, drive. That back leg does the work. Push, 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 feet never cross. The last one we're going to do, again, kind of the theme of a good movement skill session, dynamic warm-up, is slow to fast, is kind of stretch to explosiveness. The last thing we're going to do is a shuffle, shuffle, stick. We're gonna have our hands in a good position now. It's gonna be 2 jumps over, stick and hold. So I'm working on explosiveness. I'm also gonna be working on the ability to stop and control my motion, okay? So again, not a lot of space here, so I'll do over and back a couple times. It's gonna be push, push, stick, push, push, stick, coming back, push, push, stick, push, push, stick, drive, drive, stick. Drive, drive, stick. Last one, drive, drive, stick, drive, drive, stick. The first exercise that we're gonna do is, we call it a 1080 reverse VH rotation. And I'm just gonna get myself kind of down into a reverse VH type position. We wanna start sort of collapsed down. So I wanna think sit down and kind of rotate into the band. So I'm relaxing the band right now, there's not a lot of tension. All I'm gonna try to do from here is come up and rotate out. So I'm using this hip to come up and rotate out. Come up and rotate out. If I need some more tension, more strength, I can scoot out a little bit. Up and out. Up and out. So I'm getting glute, hamstring, lower body, core stability. I'm getting some strength and rotation through this hip. And I can do the same thing really quickly going the other way. We're just gonna get about 4 reps per side. So again, you can see I'm gonna collapse down a little bit and then rotate up. Rotate up. So I'm using this hip to drive myself up. Okay, that's the first exercise we're gonna go through. The second one, we call a wide stance short shuffle, okay? So we spend a lot of time, generally speaking, from a strength and conditioning and performance development standpoint, working on full range of motion exercises, full range of motion squats, and that's very, very important. But we also want to add little bits of specificity, especially at this level where our goaltenders are so well developed. Little bit different approach possibly for the youth goaltender where you need more of a developmental foundation. Some of our guys are very big, very strong, very well trained, so we can hone in on some specifics. So that being said, not very often are we going to be in the net and be able to load and push and have this huge range of motion through this leg. What we're going to have to be able to do is short shuffle, hard push, right? And I know a good friend of mine, Maria Mountain, has talked about this a lot, and her and I had some conversations around this. And I really think this is a beneficial exercise and thought process for our goaltenders. So, same setup. I'm going to put this over the lead shoulder, get some tension, and really all I'm going to do is load and drive, load and drive, load and drive. Short range of motion. See if you can see where my range is a little bit. So I'm not down here for this particular exercise. I'm up fairly tall in my stance where I would be, and I got to create a lot of force, a lot of explosiveness from this higher position. Drive, 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 and I'm going to get about 8 reps per side. So I'm just really working on being strong here and being explosive. The next exercise we're going to go to, a little bit more of a plyometric, so a little more reactive. There's going to be a deceleration and a reactivity component. We call it a drop step bound. Bounding just means I'm going from one leg to the other, but we want to be a little bit more specific for our goaltenders. So you picture I'm at the top of the crease, okay? Puck's in the slot. It's going to come down to the bottom of the circle. So I'm going to be here and I'm going to drop step, meaning I'm going to bring this lead leg in to allow me to open my hips and shoulders and move in the direction I want to go in. I'm going to square up and then quickly rebound back. So that puck's going from the slot, bottom of the circle, back up to the slot. I got to react back, okay? So I want to be powerful and quick and then come to a square stance here. So I'm here, drop step, back and square. Other way. Drop step, back and square. Drop step, back and square. So you notice I'm not spending a lot of time down here. I don't want to get here and come back. Yes, I'm more powerful and explosive if I load into this, and there's definitely a time and a place to develop that, But again, we're prepping for getting on the ice, so I want crisp because that puck's going to move quickly. Drop step, back and square. Drop step, back and square. Okay? The last one we're going to do is sort of a total body core stability / explosiveness exercise. It's called a split stance drop and chop. So I've got a 10-pound plate. Could be just your water bottle. If you're at the rink, you don't have any equipment, could just be your mask. Anything for just a little bit of load, a little bit of offset is all you're really looking for. 10 pounds is probably even a little much for the purposes. But basically, I'm going to start up tall in an athletic position. So we're not super goalie specific right now, just positioning. I'm going to start with the plate diagonally over one shoulder. And I'm going to end up driving it down, chopping across my body in this diagonal pattern. At the same time, I'm going to drop into a split squat. And then I'm going to pop back out of it. So I need to maintain core stability. I need thoracic spine mobility. I need hip mobility as I get in. I also need some stability for my lower body to be able to pop back up. So we're checking a lot of boxes with this last exercise. So I'm here, drop and back up, drop and back up, drop and back up. And then we go to the other side. Up high, drop and back up. Drop and back up, drop and back up. We go through that twice, 4 reps or so per exercise. We're on the ice. From soup to nuts, we're maybe at 15 minutes. If we're really good and on the ball, 12-minute warm-up from soup to nuts. We're mobile, we're warm, sweating as you can tell. We've trained, we're actually improving our physical output over time. And most importantly, we're prepared to go on the ice. We've reduced the incidence of injury from a neurological and a tissue standpoint, and we're ready to go. That's the end of our program. Thanks.